Remember when finding love meant catching someone's eye across a crowded room? Now it means catching an algorithm's attention. And let's be honest, the algorithms know you better than you know yourself. They track your every swipe, analyze your hesitations, measure your engagement down to the millisecond. They know if you lingered on that profile a little too long. They know when you're settling and when you're genuinely interested. The question isn't whether AI will find your perfect match anymore. It's whether you're ready for what happens when it does. What's more intimate? Sharing your deepest secret with someone face to face? Or having an algorithm predict your next thought before it fully forms in your mind? Welcome to the brave new world of algorithmic romance, where your perfect partner isn't discovered, they're calculated. You've handed over more data about your romantic preferences than you've ever shared with your closest friends. Think about it. Your dating app knows more about what attracts you than your own conscious mind. That slight pause when you see someone who reminds you of your ex? Logged. That pattern of swiping right on people who use certain words in their bio? Analyzed. Your unconscious preferences completely mapped. We're not just using technology to find love anymore, we're outsourcing the very essence of attraction to machines that can see patterns we're blind to. When was the last time you felt that genuine spark with someone new? Not the dopamine hit from a match notification, but that electric moment when two humans connect. When did you last trust your own instincts over an algorithm's suggestion? If you're struggling to remember, you're not alone. Dating apps were supposed to expand our romantic horizons. Instead, they've turned us into efficient consumers of potential partners, scrolling through human beings with the same emotional investment we give to picking a movie on Netflix. Not interesting enough in the first 30 seconds. Next, we've become romantic window shoppers, endlessly browsing but rarely buying, and AI is about to supercharge this entire process. The leap from today's crude matching algorithms to true AI matchmakers isn't just inevitable, it's already happening. Companies are developing emotional recognition software that can read your involuntary physiological responses to different faces. They're creating conversational AI that can simulate chemistry before you ever meet a potential match. They're building predictive models that can forecast relationship success with frightening accuracy. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow and your dating app says, it's found someone with a 98.7% compatibility rating. Not based on shared interests or values you've explicitly stated, but on thousands of data points you didn't even know you were providing, your pupil dilation when viewing certain types of faces, the subtle changes in your voice when discussing particular topics, your unconscious response patterns to different personality types based on every digital interaction you've ever had. Would you trust it? More importantly, could you afford not to? This isn't science fiction. It's the logical next step in our algorithmic romance journey, and it forces us to confront an uncomfortable truth. If an AI can predict who you'll fall in love with better than you can yourself, what does that say about the nature of love itself? Let's be brutally honest about where we stand. Dating apps have already fundamentally changed how we find partners. 20 years ago, meeting online carried a stigma. Today it's the dominant way couples meet in most developed countries. We've normalized allowing algorithms to pre-filter our potential romantic partners. We've accepted that our romantic destinies are shaped by code, written by programmers we'll never meet, optimized for metrics we don't fully understand. It's like we've collectively decided that falling in love is too inefficient, too unpredictable, too messy. We want to optimize it, streamline it, make it productive. How very Silicon Valley of us, turning the most fundamentally human experience into something that can be engineered for efficiency. But here's where it gets interesting and where the real question emerges. What if AI doesn't just change how we find love but changes what love becomes? Consider this thought experiment. An advanced AI analyzes your every preference, habit, and pattern. It creates a virtual partner perfectly calibrated to your desires. Someone who knows exactly when to challenge you, and when to support you, when to be mysterious, and when to be transparent. This AI partner remembers every conversation, never tires of your stories, and evolves with your changing needs. Would that relationship be authentic? Would it matter if it felt authentic? If you experience genuine joy, growth, and connection, does it matter that your partner lacks consciousness? I can hear some of you recoiling at the very idea. That's not real love, you might say. That's just a sophisticated illusion. But let me ask you this. How much of what we call love is projection anyway? How often do we fall in love not with an actual person but with our idea of who they are? At least the AI would be honest about being a construct. This might sound like dystopian speculation, but companies are already developing AI companions designed specifically for romantic and emotional fulfillment. And they're finding willing customers, people who prefer the predictability and safety of algorithmic relationships to the chaos and potential heartbreak of human ones. But before we dismiss this trend as simple escapism, we should consider what it reveals about our fundamental needs. What are people seeking in these artificial relationships that they're not finding with humans? For many, it's not just companionship, it's being truly seen and understood. In a world where human attention is increasingly fragmented, where deep listening feels like a luxury, an AI that remembers every detail about you and responds with perfect attunement can feel like oxygen to the emotionally suffocated. Think about your last few dates, or even conversations with your current partner. Were you truly present? Were they? Or was one of you checking notifications, mentally composing work emails, half listening while thinking about something else? Now, imagine a companion with undivided attention, perfect memory, and responses calibrated specifically to your emotional needs. The appeal isn't hard to understand, is it? But here's the paradox at the heart of algorithmic romance. The more we rely on technology to optimize our love lives, the more we risk losing the very skills that make deep human connection possible. Tolerance for uncertainty. The ability to navigate conflict. The courage to be vulnerable without guarantees. The capacity to love someone not despite their imperfections but sometimes because of them. Real human relationships are inefficient. They're unpredictable. They require us to constantly negotiate the delicate balance between our needs and another person's. They demand that we develop emotional muscles that can only be built through discomfort and risk. AI partnerships require none of this. They conform to our needs rather than challenging us to grow beyond them. They offer companionship without the messy work of true intimacy. And yet, perhaps there's another way to look at this technological shift. Perhaps AI won't replace human relationships but augment them in ways we haven't fully imagined. What if, instead of using AI to find perfect matches or create artificial companions, we used it as a mirror to better understand ourselves? What if these technologies could help us identify our unconscious patterns, our self-sabotaging behaviors, our attachment wounds, not to algorithmically avoid them but to consciously heal them? Imagine a dating coach powered by emotional intelligence that could help you understand why you keep choosing unavailable partners, or why you shut down when relationships start getting serious. Not to optimize away these tendencies, but to bring them into awareness where real growth can happen. This is where the true potential of AI in our romantic lives might lie, not in replacing human connection, but in deepening our capacity for it. Not in making love more efficient, but in making us more emotionally intelligent lovers. The reality is that we're living through a fundamental reimagining of how human beings find and create connection. And like all technological revolutions, this one will bring both shadow and light. The question isn't whether AI will transform how we love, it already is. The question is whether we'll engage with this transformation consciously, with clear eyes about what we might gain and what we stand to lose. Because, make no mistake, there are things we will lose. The beautiful randomness of meeting someone you would have never swiped right on. The growth that comes from navigating relationship difficulties rather than algorithmically avoiding them. The deeply human experience of choosing someone not because they're perfect for you but because you decide to love them anyway. So, here's a radical thought. What if, instead of optimizing for perfect matches, we optimized for resilient relationships? What if, instead of using AI to avoid discomfort, we used it to build our capacity for embracing the beautiful mess of human connection? This is the mindset shift I want to offer you. See technology not as a replacement for human connection, but as a tool for deeper self-understanding. Use it not to bypass the difficult work of relationships, but to become more conscious of how you show up in them. The next time you open a dating app, ask yourself, am I using this tool to find authentic connection? Or am I using it to avoid the vulnerability that real intimacy requires? Am I letting algorithms determine my romantic future? Or am I remaining the author of my own love story? Because here's the truth that no AI will ever tell you. The perfect match isn't found through better algorithms, it's created through two imperfect people choosing each other day after day, even when it's difficult, especially when it's difficult. And so, as we conclude this journey through the intersection of artificial intelligence and romance, Remember that while technology can assist us, it can never replace the human heart. The essence of love lies in its unpredictability, its challenges, and most importantly, its imperfections. In a world racing toward algorithmic optimization of everything including love, the most radical act might be choosing the beautiful inefficiency of human connection, choosing to see people not as data points to be filtered, but as mysteries to be explored. Choosing to trust not in perfect compatibility but in your capacity to love someone through incompatibility. This doesn't mean rejecting technology outright, it means engaging with it consciously, using it as a tool rather than surrendering to it as an authority. It means remembering that the most sophisticated algorithm in the world can't measure the magic that happens when two people choose each other despite all logical reasons not to. So, will robots find your perfect match? Perhaps they will, but perhaps the more important question is, will you still recognize love when it doesn't come in the perfect package you were promised? Will you still have the courage to choose someone who challenges your expectations rather than confirming them? Will you still know how to love when love requires you to grow rather than simply be validated? These are the questions we need to carry with us as we navigate this brave new world of algorithmic romance. Because in the end, the greatest love stories have never been about finding perfection. They've been about finding someone who makes you want to be a better version of yourself and having the courage to become it. If you felt that tug between technological convenience and authentic human connection in your own life, you're not alone. We're all navigating this new territory together. Subscribe to the Behavior Algorithm for more insights on how technology is rewiring our most fundamental human experiences, and how to remain fully human in a world that's increasingly designed to optimize away our beautiful imperfections. Remember, in a world of algorithms, the most powerful thing you can be is unpredictable. Love wildly, choose consciously, and never outsource your heart to code, no matter how intelligent it claims to be.